Have you ever had so much going on that you feel like you're running around with your head cut off? This endless sense of pressure on your shoulders? Well, welcome to the daily life of a civil engineer. We all know those crappy roads with all the potholes, the cluster of buildings along with the crowded streets. These are only a few things that are considered in civil engineering. I'm here to inform you of a few vital components that must be taken into account when designing and building any new infrastructure. After researching different areas of engineering, I've extracted a few of the most important components to consider. These include the environment, the management of resources, the aesthetics, the target audience. But first, let's take a look at the environment. According to the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine, wildlife conservation must receive thorough consideration in the planning, construction, and ongoing management of road systems. Road design can have many negative effects on the environment, so it is important not only to minimize these effects, but to also still complete a successful project. Furthermore, we all know water is essential to life. Well, it is also vital in engineering. However, according to the University of Tartu, water infrastructure may result in excessive use of water resources and/or water pollution. This water pollution can consist of leaks, inconsistent treatment of sewage, runoff, and any other things that can cause the water to become polluted. Keeping all this in mind, another vital component to consider is the management of resources. Managing resources is arguably the most important part in engineering because this is what regulates costs and what essentially has the biggest impact on the environment. For example, think of a home builder who completes a purchase order for double the supplies. After completing the project, say it rains and ruins the supplies, he or she has not only ruined those resources, but also their pocketbook. A successful way to manage resources, according to ASC Library, is minimizing the total cost of leased resources under the constraint of maximum and most efficient use of owned equipment and contracted labor force. A major problem that engineers face is using more resources than needed, which damages our environment significantly. According to the Millennium Alliance for Humanity and the Biosphere, many engineers are implicitly promoting increased resource use and producing more waste and pollution, which is encouraging more of the bads that actually need to be reduced. By using the least amount of resources possible, engineers can save the world one project at a time. On another note, could you imagine a successful project that isn't pleasing to the eye? For example, would you rather have a building that has big glass windows, vivid colors, and unique features? Or would you rather have a building that is a basic structure with no uniqueness? Aesthetics matters. It is the first thing that customers or people passing by consider. Presentation is so important in anything in life, so why stop now? Having an aesthetically pleasing project will have far more success than that of its counterpart. Last but not least is understanding the people who will be using the infrastructure. This is so crucial in engineering because not only will it affect the infrastructure itself, but will also affect the lives of those who use it. Think of this. An engineer is to design and build a school. According to SafeRoutesInfo.org, many roads around schools are not equipped with sidewalks and can be unsafe for walking. This can pose a huge risk for children and parents who are within walking distance of that school, which walking on the roadway every morning and afternoon for a whole school year is extremely dangerous. So engineers need to take all this into account because safety is the most important thing in engineering. Another example, say an engineer is asked to design and build a mall. There was an experiment according to EPJ Data Science to study whether or not malls with higher social mixing attracted more people. This can help the engineer know how to please the diverse crowd and also attract the most people. All in all, before designing or building any new project, the engineer must take into account many different factors. I've explained that some of these consist of how many resources will be needed, what environmental impact the structure might have, whether or not the project is appealing to the eye, and whether or not the people using it will approve of it. By taking these components into account, us engineers can have a huge impact on the world around us.